Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where, after the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
The wreckage. That's right. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is the vet, Jamie Williams, and we are live on Hamin Media Group Twitter page. Not Twitter, sorry, as in the Twitch page, and also on the YouTube. But most importantly, on channelattitude.com after the fact. And Vet, what is going on, man? I mean, we've had a bit of a topsy-turvy 24 hours, shall I say, with the so-called WWE draft. And just quietly, I'm so sick of this song. I can't stand it anymore. I just wanted to put it out there. I am going to switch it off. But yeah, man, I mean, it was a bunch of smoke and mirrors, dude, to me. I mean, really? I mean, what else can you call it?
Smoke and mirrors like Cody Rhodes?
Like Cody Rhodes. He's spot on. I mean, really? Yeah. I mean, we've got, you know, it's all obvious. I think you and I were talking about it last week where we were assuming the champions are safe. Like, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay on their brand. And that's exactly what's happening. But, I mean, come on. I mean, what sort of draft was this when it comes to a draft? I mean, what, two wrestlers sort of switched hands? Really, when you think about it? I mean, three, actually. I mean, what the hell is this? It's a farce.
It is a farce, but it's a new era, Jimmy. It's a new era. So
you're right.
As long as you keep saying it's a new era, you could do the same old shit and people won't notice.
The terrorizing era?
Yeah, the terrorizing era. I think that we actually, before... excuse my voice. I just had something to eat, so you know, pardon me if I sound a little scratchy for a few minutes. But before they used to, what do you want to say? They used to just draft the champions back and forth. They weren't actually protected. But this time they just said, "Oh yeah, the champions are protected." Just the cop out right off the bat, right?
Yeah, and then, I don't like that, man.
Yeah, but even that, like, okay, you announced it, so that makes sense, because why wouldn't you pick a champion, right? Of course, anybody would pick a champion. So instead, you have to sit there and watch them pick Carmelo Hayes ahead of, like, guys like LA Knight, Randy Orton. Like, there's nobody in their right mind that would take the guy that just got cooked twice in a row by his own sidekick over a legend like Randy Orton. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't, you cannot justify this, no matter how much Corey says, "Oh, a great pick." Like, no. Everyone in the building and everyone at home is like, who? And then if they remember, it'll be, oh, that's the guy that spiked himself with Austin Theory and they both fell on their heads. And that's why he got took off TV for however many weeks and sent back down to NXT to learn not to fall on his head. I don't, look, not a fan of Carmelo Hayes. Good for him, but bad for everyone else. And then he has to have a match with Cody and lose, so he's not that over. So it's like,
botch.
Bro, that was so, see, back to NXT. It just makes you look bad when you do shit like this. The fans at home they can only keep up those happy smiles for so long, and then they're going to start getting tired of you saying the new era when it's the same old shit. So that was like the biggest thing about the draft to me, other than, you know, the obvious of like, oh, well, I can pick these three guys with one pick. Why wouldn't everybody just pick all the teams and factions with their picks? Why would anybody pick one person? Like, oh, you could pick the Bloodline with one fell swoop. Okay, let me do that. I'll pick every tag team because that's double your money, right? Like, what? You could end up in a situation where like Raw has like 45 guys, and SmackDown has like 10 guys. Like, what do you?
Well,
yeah, it's yeah. They just don't think about this kind of shit. So that was one of those things. Like, I didn't expect them to do anything different, and sure enough, they didn't.
I know, high hopes for nothing, right? I mean, seriously. But I just wanted to quickly touch on that botch spot with Cody and Carmelo. Dude, you know what was even worse about that? Excuse me. You could see Cody calling that spot to Mello, right? I mean, the camera didn't even go away. I mean, it was like slow motion, dude. I saw him call it like he's like, you know what I mean? I'll go that way. And obviously, it was supposed to be the Cody cutter for the finish. Oh my God. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. And apparently, there's reports. Now, I don't know. People, now, when I say this, I haven't read anything, but people are speculating that he could, and I'm talking about Cody, he could have, injured his shoulder, possibly. He did hit kind of pretty hard on the shoulder. It's just that spot was just, I feel bad for Mello, man. I really do. I mean, who screws that spot up? But it is what it is.
Well,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
That spot up. It's not like you're talking about tackle drop down. No one's ever done that shit before, so of course you're going to screw it up. They probably practiced it a couple of times, but why even chance it?
Yeah, I know that. No, you're right. Especially for Mello, it's his first, it's not his first time, but, it's like officially his time. Yeah, I know. He's pretty much already a SmackDown guy. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man. I just feel like he put too much pressure on the kid to do that, if you want to call him a kid. He's still in his 20s, Mello Yeats, right?
Who?
Mello.
Carmelo Hayes is like 35 or something.
What? No, dude. For real?
I'm pretty sure he's over 30.
I gotta see this. Wow. Jeez. That's the... Okay, anyway, forget what I said.
I could be
just
wrong.
Looking it up.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, you're right. He's officially 30 because he's born when my sister was born, which is in 94. He's turning 31 in August.
Oh, all right.
That's kind of young, but still, you're hitting your 30s. But these days, the 30s are kind of the new peak, if you know what I'm saying. If we went back 20 years ago, guys would start retiring in their 30s. So,
with Carmelo, the age is not the issue for him. It's the issue of, I've been watching this guy for however many years, and he's not impressed me once ever. Never. Not even once. I just don't see it,
man.
I just don't see it.
You just don't see the talent. He needs to be a heel, first of all. He's a natural heel. He's got a face you just want to punch.
Right. Especially if you have no charisma like him, then being a heel is like, that's part of your heat, is that you have no personality whatsoever, right?
Well, if Vince was still around, it might have gotten to that point with him. If you know what I mean, he'd be like, you're no personality. Some shit. It'd be the new Lance Storm.
Remember how MVP? Remember when he got all that hype before his debut?
Dude, and then I hated him back then, bro.
So they kept doing that thing where he would show up and he would talk like he was negotiating his contract and they weren't paying him enough, and he wasn't ready to make his debut. It was, now when you look back at it, Jimmy, it was great, right? But at the time, you were getting annoyed, right? Which was
at the time I was definitely annoyed, right?
Because
you're right, yeah.
The MVP character was supposed to be like a take on the spoiled athlete that wants more money, but isn't really doing anything. So MVP's asking for all this money, and we've never seen him, right? So this could go one of two ways. It would be either he finally makes his debut and he's absolutely sucks, or he's awesome and he's worth every penny. Well, they went the second route, and MVP actually got a big push, and it worked out very well for him. And I really enjoyed the character. I enjoyed his matches. I enjoyed everything about MVP, the bouncy house, all that stuff. That was really cool.
Right.
And Carmelo is like the absolute worst, what's the most bargainous basement federation I could think of? This would be
what sport? In any sport?
Just in wrestling. Let's stick to wrestling here. What's
current or even just over the years?
Maybe I'm trying to think of something worse than MLW. What's worse than MLW?
Worse than that? How about Hog?
Maybe, yeah. That'd be like if they tried to do their own MVP, it would be like Carmelo Hayes. None of the ability, none of the psychology, none of the height, none of the size, none of the charisma. Just like MVP minus literally everything, and that's Carmelo Hayes.
That's harsh. I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty harsh.
I think MVP has more value now standing around with a cane and a suit with Omos than Carmelo Hayes will ever have in his entire WWE career.
That I actually agree with 100%. There's no doubt about it. See, I've grown to respect MVP over the years, especially when he first left WWE and went to New Japan. That's when I started really digging him at the time. And then, he went to TNA and whatnot and back here now. But yeah, I mean, that's a big call, Vet. I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt before the jury's out for me. You've seen a lot more of him than I have.
NXT here and there,
right, exactly. I mean, I've seen a lot of him, don't get me wrong, but not like you have. So I'll give him a chance, but you're probably right. He's already screwed up his first official night, so we'll see what happens there.
Let it go, Todd. Let it go.
Oh, no, you didn't. That would be like calling Mike Santana Danny Limelight from Wish. They're similar.
Don't be the guy. Don't be the guy that just comes in and keeps bringing up the gripes, man.
Hey, that's a good one though. I mean,
but yeah,
he's not wrong. Is he wrong?
It's like that, except mine is way better and way more accurate, right?
Yeah, well, that's true. Absolutely. I mean, but he does have a point too. You're lucky, Todd. You are the Comic King. But we'll see what happens. Cold Blooded says in the chat, actually, the entire Brothers of Destruction versus MVP and Mr. Kennedy thing was garbage. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a barn burner, that's for sure.
The only two guys worth a damn. That was the height. 2007 was the height of my wrestling in terms of I was immersed in it. I was participating in it.
Fresh, right.
I was as good as I ever was in the year 2007. Whatever skills I had, that was the peak of my athletic ability,
too,
my
right?
knowledge, my repetition. I can't hear you talking, Jimmy, because I'm talking still. I can't hear what you're saying. So just wait till I'm done and then say things. But that was the height and peak of it. And those were the only two guys in WWE, Mr. Kennedy and MVP, that were worth a damn to watch. Everybody else was just John Cena and Randy Orton have the same match with each other every month and a bunch of other bullshit. They were the only two fresh, cool things that were out there. And those guys kind of just got buried by the top stars and everybody else sucked. That's when ECW was going on and it was terrible. It was just terrible. It was one of the worst times in wrestling up until the 2 or 3 years before Triple H fully took over.
Dude, 07 was pretty bad. You know what? I didn't mind 06, but 07 was really bad. And that's a funny time because those times felt like yesterday for real, man. Heck, even the Attitude Era did, but that time, it's like, where did the time go, man? You know what I mean? How did time fly so quick? It blows my mind, man. And that 07 was also when you went to Mania in Detroit, right? That was because if I remember, because I remember that Mania. I remember exactly what I did that day. Me. No, but you know what's funny about that? I remember being at work that day and remembering I was kind of looking forward to Mania. So I actually remember a lot about that day, but funny enough, you were actually there. And here we are, how many years later? And Jesus, like I said, time flies, man. What about Nia Jax moving over to SmackDown? I think that was actually a better move for her because she needs to be fed to. Plus, there's also the possibility that maybe, just maybe, since we're having a bloodline civil war, she might join The Rock's little faction, if there is a thing.
I would say, who cares about that? Speaking of feeding, the video of Nia Jax eating the kids' popcorn was the best thing that I've ever seen her do.
When was that?
I don't know. It came on Instagram, and it just said Nia Jax steals a kid's popcorn, and then I watched it, and she went up to this kid in the front row and grabbed his popcorn and ate it, and then poured some in her mouth, and then gave it back to him and walked off, which was great.
I love Nia Jax. I used to hate it.
It was like that time Viscera did it. Remember that when he took the nachos?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude.
So good.
Was that 07 as well, actually? 07?
I don't remember.
Or Attitude Era Viscera.
It was Pajamas, World Largest Love Machine, I'm in Love with Lillian Garcia Viscera. Where
06, 08, around there.
Yeah, he took a fan's nachos and walked off with them.
Oh,
and he had the microphone
God.
at the same time. I think he thanked the fan after he took the nachos.
He better. Well, Aaron Ben Schlemmer in the chat says, I watched TNA that time. You know what? I preferred TNA probably at that time also. A few people in the chat. But 07 was pretty bad, though, for TNA, too, compared to previous years, in my opinion, anyway. For me, the golden era was like, 05, 06. And then after that, it was a slow decline. But anyway, we're not here to talk TNA. That's for another time. Tune into the Impact Attacks for that.
Yeah, let's. And not even then. Please show up to the Impact Attack with your questions and other things that we could talk about besides TNA. Please. Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Please.
Is it really that bad right now? I mean, I haven't watched TNA in a while, but is it really that unwatched? And I've been watching the Impact Attack, so
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's the same. It's just like WWE, how they're saying it's a new era and it's the same old shit. It's TNA, but it's still Impact and it's still the same old shit.
Everyone is calling a new era. Didn't Swerve last night also say it's a new era in AEW? The Dynasty era?
How long do these people think an era is?
An era can be anything. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, right?
Era's supposed to last a long time. It's supposed to be like, when you look back in history, it's like supposed to be an unfathomable amount of time where multiple generations have lived. Not like
you could say that.
A couple years where somebody had a belt.
Oh man! Oh, did you realize that there's 18 belts in AEW / Ring of Honor right now that is active? 18.
Cool. Does that count?
That's a lot of belts.
Are you counting the trios belts 3 times each, or does that one belt?
No. That counts as one.
Even though it's
two pairs. Right. Whatever. You know what I mean. Okay. Is it 2 pairs though? That's the thing.
I think it's not. When they're unified, I don't know how you count it. Because they still have both sets, but they're unified. Just like the tag team titles in WWE were unified until they decided they weren't.
Oh, that reminds me. That's a good segue. I don't like how Roman Reigns played the I'm not entering the draft card sort of thing. You know what I mean? They shouldn't. Well, yeah, you should retire if you're going to do that. But why do that?
You know another thing that pissed me off? Look,
what?
The draft is stupid. It's going to get stupid on Monday, too. Everything sucks. Let's not even...
LA Knight, 3rd round, by the way.
Let's not even concentrate on the draft too much. Can we also talk about how, not only was the draft stupid, but the show around it was stupid and boring.
Bad.
And CM Punk was there, and he's not on the show at all. Like, you mean to tell me this guy comes out there and just nothing? Like, you're treating him like... Dude, Cedric Alexander was on TV and CM Punk wasn't.
For 20 seconds, but still, yeah, you're right.
So
I don't know what to tell you, man. I saw that. Like, he done a promo after the show finished. And yeah, like, I don't get... Look, is everybody, hyping up Triple H a little too much? I mean, he's also admitted himself that technically all this shit is not even his ideas per se. Like, he actually just, he listens to all the writers and then he
lets everybody do their job.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I believe him.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. Right. And you can let them do that for a little while. And then you got to start releasing writers.
Well, yeah,
it's like, too. Before you start releasing talent, we need to start releasing writers. The only problem is that's not newsworthy because they do release people and no one ever hears about it because it's like, well, if you said this name, no one's going to know it. So it doesn't matter to report it. So that's why you don't see that stuff as much on the dirt sheets because no one would care and it's not going to get a click. So, you're not even going to find out anything a writer has done or says until they have an article that says such and such gets candid on whatever bullshit podcast that nobody else listens to, but still somehow gets more listens than us. But I mean, look, the WWE is set for success. They got the people, they got the system, they got the money, they got anything they can do to actually turn this thing around and make it different and not just pay lip service. So if they're putting some things in place and treading water for now because they know something big is coming and they can't wait to unleash it until a couple things happen, okay. We'll give them benefit of the doubt, like you said. I don't need to praise Triple H to the moon. I also don't need to excoriate him. When you go on social media, it seems like there's camps on each, like people overpraising him, people dragging him, saying he's not that great. None of that's really his issue. The most important thing that Triple H has done is make people feel better about coming to work. That's a good start before anything, rather than have people come to work walking on eggshells, feeling anxious and nervous, having to deal with a bunch of bullshit that no one should have to deal with. If he's eliminated that, that's a good start. And then if everything's the same, if all the creative is the same old boring stuff, that's fine for now. Just bring out wrestlers that you could sing their theme songs and people will be happy for a little while longer.
One more thing before we move on to the wreckage, where we see the wreckage. What do you take the whole story about Nick Khan apparently selling all his stock in TKO? Do you think anything of it? I personally think he could move on to another project. That's just what people with money do. You know what I mean? You're prepped up the WWE to where it's at right now. I guess it's time for him to move on. That's what I'm assuming. If all this shit is actually 100% true. Or do you see him staying with the company?
He could stay. I don't really know. I really don't know. To me, and this is beyond wrestling. Anytime in terms of like corporate structure, it seems to me like the whole idea of stocks is shady to begin with. And then it's even shadier when you own stock in your own company, because it's
shady.
almost like guaranteed insider trading, and it 100%. Seems fraudulent. I know that's just how things are.
Right. No, you're right.
But it's always like that. So it always just, I just dismiss that. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know. Anytime an employee owns stock, like, it seems weird, but even I could own stock in the company I work for, and I don't really, which is probably dumb on my part, but whatever. It's not for any moral reason. I just don't do it. But like, so I don't know. I have no idea what a guy on Nick Khan's level could be up to.
Right. Neither do I, really. I'm just speculating. You know what I mean? I'm just assuming, guys like him with that sort of money, and just going by his track record, I'm just assuming, that's what they do, right? They move on to other projects and whatnot. Like I said, I'm just speculating. I have no idea. So don't quote me for anything. But look who's in the house. It is our very own John Enright. He's saying that is dumb. Make that money.
Thanks, John.
He makes that money.
I'll take that under advisement.
I'm sure he makes that money, John. Come on now.
Like Mr. Burns says, I'd trade it all for a little bit more.
Yeah. Jerome says, hey, Jimmy T and the vet. And Gary, where is Gary? Where's the Gaz?
Gary's right here.
There he is.
Yeah, good old Gary.
Here in Australia, we'd call him Gaza. The Gary. Or the Gaza. That's what we say. That's what we call all Garys here, dude. If your name's Gary, he's Gaza. Straight up.
Oh.
Well, John loves you. That? No, not that I know of. Actually, there probably is. But yeah, I don't know. That's just an Australian thing. It's like, I'm sure it's the same with you. It's like, anyone named Robert, you call him Dick. You know what I mean? Do you call Roberts Dicks?
Richard. No.
Oh, Richard. Sorry. No, you're right.
Richards.
It's Richard.
Yeah.
My bad. Not Roberts. Yeah. What was I thinking? Richards. Do you guys call Richards Dicks?
For whatever reason.
I don't get it either, but whatever.
I don't either.
Anyway. Anything else to say about this shit, or do we go and start sifting?
I haven't heard any crazy news. Maybe if you guys in the chat have heard any crazy news, but
No,
I haven't
there
really
hasn't.
kept my ear to the pavement this past 48 hours or so.
No, to be honest, it's been kind of slow, man. I mean, there hasn't really been anything of significance other than Kenny Omega, if you want to call it significance. Did you about what Kenny said about Roman Reigns? This feels like
That he was tall and handsome and oily, and you like to get in there
well,
with him.
it could be that, but he essentially said anyone that's bashing Roman Reigns in his stream, like on the chat, he's basically banning. He actually likes Roman Reigns. Yeah, he actually likes Roman Reigns, and he legitimately means this. He was trying to like legitimately say, "I truly mean this. He's above me. He's better than me. He's a bigger star than me." Like he was just praising the hell out of him to the point where he was putting himself down compared to him. But I mean, the truth is the truth. I mean, it is what it is. But he said anyone bashing Roman from now on or asks any Roman questions about what he thinks, they're out of here, he said. So I find that kind of interesting. He's been people are starting to really like him lately with the shit he's been saying, oddly enough. And people are praising him once again. Aaron thinks he's ready for WWE. Don't get fooled yet, Aaron. Relax. Trust me. This is all games already as it is, man. He wants you to think that. He ain't going nowhere.
I just would ask one question.
What's that?
Does Roman Reigns have an action figure of his classic Ring of Honor gimmick? I don't think he does.
I don't think
that may be just because he was never in Ring of Honor, but that's beside the point. The point is he doesn't have an action figure of that.
You're a character, man. Oh yeah, Kenny Omega to Bloodline confirmed. Imagine that. Oof. Get out of here. No way. Give it time. Aaron, he's 40 years old. What do you mean give it time? He's turning 41 this year. I mean, he doesn't have much time. If he was to go to WWE, it needs to be within the next year. No shit. Otherwise, what's WWE going to do with him at his age other than fucking make him put over other guys? Honestly, right? His time was back in 2016, 2017, around there. He should have gone during that time. He didn't, and this is where we're at. So don't hold your breath. Trust me, I was one of those guys. I've always wanted to go to the WWE, but it's not happening. Anyway, Vet, I think that really covers a pretty slow week in the world of wrestling in terms of news. I think it's time
other than certain owners getting pile driven, but I'm sure we'll cover that during.
Yeah. Sorry, of course I have to ask you that. How do I not ask you that, dude? Now, before you do answer that, I'll say this. I praise AEW for once actually trying to tell a story. Whether it's good or bad, that's a whole different thing. The fact that they're actually trying to tell a story, I actually give them a bit of kudos for actually attempting that. In saying that, it was bad, one. Two, the way they made Swerve look too on Dynamite right after he win the championship just didn't sit well with me because he looked like an afterthought, especially considering that they were putting Moxley more over like he's their champion, even though he's the IWGP heavyweight champion. But you could have fooled me if I was some casual fan that didn't know wrestling, right? And I saw these two guys, the way they were being portrayed on television, I would have told you that fucking Moxley was the guy and not Swerve.
Well, did John Moxley beat television champion Kyle Fletcher? No, he did not. I mean, not that night anyway.
Not that night. But you get what I'm saying, right?
No, not really. Because to a non-fan, nobody's watching it, so it doesn't matter. The only people watching it are AEW fans or, the classic people that fell asleep after dinner watching Big Bang Theory and then woke up and turned it off. But nonetheless, he got right out there and had a match to start the show. So he was visible at least, whatever you think of that. But whatever about that. And that's not going to be the last time we talk about him having a match today.
Well, no, definitely not.
But yeah. So, why don't we just start? Because
I want to know how you feel about the TK fucking I personally think he's going to do the Eric
it's great.
Bischoff, dude.
Best ever. Yeah, they're on a trajectory to surpass WWE in all metrics now.
Oh, hell yeah, of course they are. But no, seriously, can you see him doing the Eric Bischoff swerve, dude, and he joins the Elite? I can.
I could see it because it's a bad idea. So, of course, I can see it.
Good. Smart man. That's great thinking right there, Vet. That's how you should think with this damn company. Think the opposite of what they should be doing. But anyway,
yeah.
That's all I wanted to ask you, man. But that was just... at least he wore the neck brace. He kayfabed it, right?
That's almost... I mean...
It's silly because why do that angle right?
It doesn't matter.
I know, that's the thing. Why do that angle right before the draft?
That's probably why. Because he probably knew that he'd have a lot of eyes on him, and people would be asking him about that damn neck brace. Like, hey, what's with the neck brace? And he'll be like, well, you can watch Dynamite every Wednesday on TBS. You know, like, that's his whole thing, right?
Well, at least the NFL did promote Dynamite. I'll say that. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
It's not going to work one bit, but I mean, still, doesn't hurt to try.
Absolutely. A+
it's like
for
drafting
trying.
Carmelo Hayes. Like, I guess it doesn't hurt to try. Yeah. So what if he, so what if he and Cody, messed up the biggest spot, just try it. Try.
I'm looking forward to Botchamania and Promo Joe for that one. That was beauty at its best. But anyway, shall we sift through the wreckage, Vet, or is there anything else we need to touch on?
Oh, we could just end the show now. That would be good.
That'd be pretty nice.
Sift through it.
Oh, well, I don't want to get my hands dirty, bro.
We should just do it.
I don't want my hands dirty, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
No, let's sift through. We're here to sift through the shit that is Collision, which is sad because Dynamite now and Collision have these two different feels. I actually didn't mind Dynamite for certain reasons. This Collision, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, on paper it seems good, but the way they present it, it just seems like there's something missing.
Let's see if we can find it. See if we can find the missing piece.
Let me put my gloves on.
Yeah, let's put our sifting gloves on. Let's get our like little pail and our little shovel, our little sand shovel, and our little sifter. Like, the little
the little sifter, yeah. Not the sphincter, the sifter.
So I don't know how it played out on TNT, but when I clicked on Collision to watch, they showed the 5-minute hype thing before the show goes live, where like they're doing the warm up for the audience.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The
guy's
dude.
like, yeah, it's like the guy's like, yeah, we got a couple more minutes to showtime, and then Tony Khan comes out there and he does his thing where he's talks to the crowd like he always does. And he said whatever. He says like, I don't even remember everything he said now, but it was just like he barely commented on. He just said, I'm very happy to be here. I love pro wrestling more than I ever have, and I'm glad I was able to walk out under my own power. And I'm very blessed and happy to be on this stage right now. And said all that.
Man, this guy's shooting himself in the foot. He's just got to stop. See, what I saw, and it's funny because I changed feeds, dude. I'm glad you mentioned it because when I saw that, I thought there was something wrong with my feed for a minute, and you only saw like the hard camera sort of pointing to the ring.
Yeah, it was like that for a while, and then when he came out, they switched.
Okay, see, I thought there was something was up. It was like a different, like someone was recording it. I was just thinking, why am I seeing this? And what's going on? So I switched it to the TNT feed. Funny enough, the TNT feed had none of that. I
assume they didn't because at the end of the thing, at the end of the 5 minutes, because he was asking the guy, Tony was like, it's like he's like, we got 4 minutes left, till we go live, and then like Tony says some stuff, and then he's like, how much time do we got? The guy's like, we have 2.5 minutes till we go live. Like almost no, he's like, ah, shit, almost no time passed. Like, so it was funny and awkward and weird, but we weren't meant to see it. That was supposed to be for the live house only, but they recorded it somehow. So,
They've done that a lot, Vet, over the years, man. Especially when it first started, when AEW first started, that was happening all the time to the point where I was watching Rampage before it was live, right? I mean, before it was taped, I would see it live on the Dynamite feed. So Dynamite would finish, and then Rampage would start, even though it's not meant to be on till Friday, which was kind of weird. And then it would cut out like halfway, and I'm like, what the hell? Damn.
Yeah, weird.
So yeah, I've seen some weird shit. It is weird.
Weird shit.
That's
Well, if
AEW.
anybody was actually watching on cable, which I'd be surprised if anybody did, even if they did watch the show. My theory is nobody watches TNT. They just watch it on the internet later. So we'll see. But you guys let us know if you saw it any differently, or if TNT accidentally showed any of this on their thing. But after Tony went back, but before the show went live, the crowd was just sitting there waiting, and then some people started chanting Swerve's house, you know, and then whoever the MC guy was like, oh, it looks like somebody's ready for the new champion, you know, and you know, so everybody's getting ready. Yeah. And then
there's probably a plan for sure.
Cold Blooded said, I watch on cable. It's okay, Cold Blooded. It's okay. You don't have to be ashamed of it. Well, actually, that's not true. You do have to be a little ashamed of it. But perhaps you DVR'd it. Yeah. Okay. Normal feed. All right. Okay. So to Cold Blooded and everybody else who fell asleep watching the whatever Marvel movies on before this, the show did start with Swerve and Nana coming out. And I like when Nana talks more. You know,
he's not bad, dude. I think he's very underrated as a talker. Right, I agree.
I don't even know if he's underrated. He's just underused. They just don't let him talk that much. There's like just dance, buddy. Like, no, dance and talk and everything. Everybody do everything. Like, don't tell me we don't have time for it.
Right, no, I agree, 100%. I mean, 20 years in the business, more, and only now really he's gotten his break. Think about that for a minute, man.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, they come out, forever. They address recent events, you know, all those events, whether it was Tony getting pile driven, which he says was a bitch move to him. And he said his daughter doesn't know him anymore. And so I guess for that reason, he's going to have an open challenge. So that his daughter can know who he is. And then his daughter's potential new dad shows up, Claudio Castagnoli.
Have you noticed now
he comes out and he's like, you're on. I'm your daughter's daddy now. He didn't say that. I wish he said it. He didn't. He could have got a little heat if he said something like that, right? But
he said it in like Swiss or something, or Italian or German, because they don't even speak Swiss.
Whichever of the 5 languages he speaks.
Yeah. Whatever it is. I'm pretty sure he's Italian heritage. He probably knows how to speak all of them, though. But, yeah, no, he should have. But I'm sick of these open challenges, Vet. Everyone's doing it. We got Cope Opens. We got Swerve's house visitations. They should call it that at this point. You know, there was John Cena open. I mean, come on, man. Enough of this shit. Think. Do something. Write something. You know, come up with something instead of this shit.
No, Jimmy, open challenges.
All right, no worries.
You get to hit somebody's music and everyone gets to be surprised and then disappointed.
Did this crowd really give a shit?
A little bit. Yeah. This was at Daly's place, by the way, so, you know.
It was.
Yeah. Which, true. And Cold Blooded mentioned this earlier, but like he said he likes the unique stage setups and stuff. I did always like how Daly's place looks on TV.
Oh, it looks great on TV. I even like the setup, like the way the set looks, you know, the big screen and the LEDs below it. I think that looks absolutely awesome.
But it's but because of the draft, that's why they were there. That's why they shot all this TV there, so they could be there, you know, at home base to do their operations and not have to be on the road and travel and stuff. So that's pretty much why. And then they, speaking of that, which that leads into, they do a recap of everything that happened on the Dynamite on Wednesday, where they, you know, so everybody's already talked about this. They beat it to death. So you don't need to hear it from me because you've already heard what I've been saying for a year now. Like you've heard me say ever since CM Punk was fired that you can't do things like this anymore because we saw the real thing that got a guy fired for real. So to have anybody attack anybody, whether it's just, it doesn't matter if it's Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa, or whether it's the Young Bucks and Tony Khan, like nobody can do this kind of stuff anymore because you fired a guy for nothing, for shoving and choking. You can't do it. It's over. That's over. And I've been saying that since last August. You guys have been here. Check the tapes if you don't remember. I've been saying it the whole time. It used to be my bit where I'd say, every time somebody got in a backstage scuffle, I'd say, these people should be fired. Everyone should fear for their life, yada, yada, yada. And I just got so tired of saying it because it happens 10 times a show. And my bit wasn't funny anymore, so I just stopped saying it.
Because it became real, bro. It got real. You know what I mean? It was happening week in, week out. It felt like at one stage. Right. No, you're right. I mean, but you know what?
So like, to have Tony even do it, it's just like to have him not come out and be like, you're not going to see the Young Bucks around here anymore. Like, they're done.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Perry's done. Everybody's done. Like, he could have came out and said that, right? And then, of course, the angle is they keep showing up anyway. Like, because they're villains. They're trying to get heat. So they don't do what they're told. They're fired, but maybe not. Or they'll sue Tony because they're part of the company too, and you can't fire us for this. And
right.
Like,
that's what it
is.
Yes,
I can. Is like, well, how come you didn't fire this? Why didn't you fire this guy? Swerve broke into a guy's house. Why didn't you fire him? Like, there's so many things that they've done that's so ridiculous.
Right. No, you're right. And that's the thing. I know, look, pro wrestling is, fantasy in many ways, right? But when you do real shit, like when you break into a man's house and all that shit, if you're going to go that far, make it realistic. You know what I mean? You should be going to jail, right?
They don't know how to do it realistically. They wouldn't even think of it. You should. It seems simple enough, but they don't do it.
Common sense.
And then it's always like, real life is always so disappointing, right? How did Rhea Ripley get injured?
Right, if that's even legit, because I'm not sure if that's even legit, in my opinion, Vet.
Let's just pretend it is. It's whack either way, right?
That's true.
And then what do they do? What do they do later on in the week? They make it seem like Kevin Owens got in a car accident, so Tama Tonga can commit attempted vehicular manslaughter, and Kevin Owens will be fine the next week. And nobody gets in trouble and whatever. But Rhea Ripley gets into, like, hits a wall and she's like, eh. And then all of a sudden now she's hurt for real. You see what I mean? Like, that's why you can't fucking do this shit anymore. It's done. It's
funny because they used to do this back in the day too. Remember Hogan and The Rock? Hogan in the truck, hitting, was it the ambulance or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
When The Rock was it? Yeah. That's another example of this shit.
Let's not call the cops. Let's just film it.
I don't get it, man. It's easy to do things without having to go that far and then pretend nothing happened. But it's pro wrestling, man. Unfortunately, it is what it is, like it just is. No, it is what it is. It shouldn't be
anything it wants as soon as somebody starts calling the shots differently.
True,
so
man.
That's it.
It's true.
I mean, so I'm going to say it. And if anybody ever does do it, if anybody ever does change the way they do it, everyone can remember that I said it years and years ahead of time. That's what they needed to do. But anyway, so they recapped that thing on Wednesday. And then Tony Schiavone gives an update on Tony Khan and says that, he's not going to be traveling to Canada for their next shows because he's not supposed to travel,
Right.
You know how it is with a injury or a surgery. Like, you don't want to get on a plane or.
I hope he gets caught in Canada. Someone spots him and then puts it up on social media because he better not turn up to Canada.
Yep. Tom Brantley says Hogan damn near killed Rock with a semi, and weeks later they cheered.
Right, that's what I was saying. I was just saying that, right?
Yeah, because that's how much everybody hated The Rock and was sick of him even back then. Anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Thank God he's okay. That's all that matters, Cole. As long as
He's
he's okay.
Tony's gonna be okay. I mean, he was so okay that he was out there for the live crowd, but we're not supposed to know that, right?
I
He
didn't
even
even hear
said
that.
he even said when he was out there with the microphone, he's like, "You guys, I'll let the you'll get an update later on my condition." Like,
Ah,
it's
eat a
here right
dick,
now.
Tony.
Just tell us.
Fuck
He
me.
said it.
Seriously, do you know what else he did after that angle? Right on Wednesday, he tweeted out after Dynamite saying, "Thank you everybody for watching Dynamite." Typing that shit. Like, why? Why are you typing that?
should have
Why are
said-
you saying that?
It should have said, "This is QT from Tony's account."
Yeah. See, it's little things like that that would have been so much better if they actually did do that. That's why you're the vet, man. I'm telling you. And I know people have, someone has been listening to this show. So whoever you are, hire him to book your shit. Trust me. Even if he doesn't want to do it, money talks. Offer him all sorts of money to get him to
My
get.
neck, I can't.
Because it's true, man. You
I can't travel. I have to do it from home, guys.
My back. My back.
Yeah, I'll be checking in.
Hey,
from
consultant.
here on StreamYard. Yeah, just send me a StreamYard link and I'll tell you what to do.
Would you do that if you had the opportunity, like through StreamYard though, where you're?
Yeah, if I just get to sit at home and tell other wrestlers how to run their company, then yes.
No, you talk to Tony, but you're dealing with Tony. Tony
Yeah,
only.
him too. Whatever. Well, he's a wrestler. He took a Meltzer driver. What do you want?
True. You're right. They don't even
He
want to
even gave
fucking.
people a stunner before. He's a stone cold wrestler.
That's Stone
Pun
Cold
intended.
wrestler. He takes a bad stunner, but just quietly.
But how does he give
yeah.
one? He gives one pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, the best. That was the worst, bro. When I saw that, it was ridiculous. But anyway, fuck that.
All right. So let's get to some a la carte. Because we have Bang Bang Gang versus Top
Yes.
Action next. Right?
Is that what they were called?
So-
Top Action.
Huh?
Is that what they're called now? Top Action? I didn't actually realize.
No, that's the name I made up.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so what this means is that I'm watching Jay White and 5 other guys. And so I'm enjoying what I can out of this. Obviously Jay White is perfect and everyone should try to hold up to his standards. They can't, but they try. Like, for example, the Guns. There's a part in the match where they go for the old, when the guy's been taking the heat and he goes to dive to his corner and they pull his partners down and nobody's there and he misses the tag. Well, I think the Guns were just like a little bit late on that. So Darius had to just fall short by himself. Like he saw that they were still on the apron and the Guns weren't there yet. So he just had to fall down. I was like, oh, good move for Darius. That was, I guess, the best thing he could have done in that situation. But
well, what do you do?
The ass boys fucked up. They fucked up.
Right. That's it. I mean, what can you do? It would piss me off. Don't get me wrong. I'd be pissed. But, it is what it is. And he still looks fat just quietly. I'm talking about, top flight.
Dad Bod Darius?
Dad Bob Darius, yeah. Who's actually a pilot, so he's literally top flighting. I don't know if he passed or not his test, but you know what? Maybe he failed.
Well, yeah, because and plus, when you're a pilot, you're sitting down a lot, so he's not getting in better shape, right? Just sitting. So.
Yeah, I can't believe how much he's put on. Dude, he was in great shape, man, and now he just looks like he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, you know, he can always get back in shape. Just
for sure, muscle
just like
memory.
Sheamus.
Hey, he is. He's getting in shape pretty quick, though. Think about it. There's a big difference from the week before till last week on Raw. He's actually lost a little bit of weight. I think he'll be back in shape, just quietly.
Yeah, which is sad, because Fat Sheamus is more over, right? We've already seen Red Sheamus.
After
who wants
the
to see
burger,
that?
dude.
It's time for a gimmick change.
I mean, seriously, Drew McIntyre is on fire with some of his shit he's been saying, bro. Like, he's cracking me up. He's one of my favorite things now to watch in all of wrestling. He just cracks me up.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, if anyone cares, Action Andretti backflipped one too many times and got caught in a Blade Runner. So Jay White goes over.
Dude, can I ask, man? And don't get me wrong, what they're doing is cool for the time being, and these three have got great chemistry anyway. They just click, right? But is this the way? I know, we used to say we're happy that he's just on television and he's there doing his thing, right? But, there's got to be a point now where we got to say enough's enough. This guy needs to be pushed, man. Like, put him back in the main event, scene. You can still have the Guns being, the antagonists, to everybody else and being in his corner. No problem. You can still have them three fucking guns up, bang, bang, do all that shit. I don't need to see him in trios matches all the friggin' time. I just feel like you're wasting his talent right now.
I mean, you are, but and he does have the there's like a little bit of history with Swerve because of the Continental Classic, right? So there's a built-in thing. He could answer an open challenge if Swerve keeps the house door open.
True.
Jay White could walk through it, and we'd at least get a decent match out of it. But yeah, like obviously, I would do things very differently, but I don't know what plans they have. So part of the a la carte theory is you just accept the things you enjoy, how they are presented at the time, and don't worry about what might happen or what isn't happening. Just enjoy this. And all I can say is Jay White didn't mess up any spots in this match, even though his partners did.
He was slick, actually. He looked great. Nigel McGuinness was on some shit last night, Vet. The shit that was coming out of his mouth, Jesus Christ, bro. I don't know if you caught anything, but he was basically praising Jay White a little too much. He's like, oh, look at him, Tony. He looks all ripped. I mean, look how good look. He's gorgeous. He looks at himself in the mirror, and he loves seeing himself. Like, he was going all sorts of ways, and he said some other shit later on too.
Yeah, he's clearly trying to entertain himself. So
I don't blame him. I get like that too sometimes. So I can relate. When I hate something and I'm just over it, I get a little, little funny.
Yeah, a little delirious.
A little delirious. Yeah, that happened.
So then we get some highlights of the ladder match. So we get the Young Bucks on TV even more. And then we get the House of Black. They're accepting the challenge of the Cope Open, like as you mentioned, another open challenge, but they accept it very mysteriously because they don't tell you which one's accepting it. They're just telling you that somebody is. So
who would it be? Actually,
it's gonna be Buddy. It's gonna be Buddy.
You think Buddy? I actually think it's gonna be King.
Yeah, well, him and King have already done a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, they did. That's true. All right, it's Buddy. Have Buddy and Edge ever faced off each other before? I don't think they have they? Not even in WWE.
Don't remember. Don't think
right, neither do I. They might have. I doubt it though, but yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm looking forward to talking about. We have the returning Rey Fenix versus the Beast Mortos.
Dude, bro. First of all, I could have sworn that was Mortis back in WCW, even though he's not around anymore. R.I.P. to Canyon.
This is Mortos.
It was Mortos, but the freaking commentators were calling him Mortis a lot, bro, and it was pissing me off.
Well,
and Mortos, he was lazy. Mortos, right? Sounds Greek to me, even though it's Mexican. Please, for the love of God.
Well, he is a Minotaur, Jimmy.
I know, but that's how you say Minotaur. You got me there. He actually did get me there. But he's a friggin' whack job of a Minotaur, bro. He looks like he just woke up, this Minotaur. That mask, whatever you want to call it, is the shittest, worst thing I've seen in pro wrestling for a long time, bro. This was ridiculous. I couldn't take this match serious. And the match dragged on, too. Mind you. It was a bird. Mortos. So dumb, bro. Why would you have this guy on your television? I don't care who. I mean, seriously. I don't care how good he is in the ring. I don't care if he can flip. He can bite people's ears off. I couldn't care less, man. This thing, I can't take it seriously. Mortos.
The Beast Mortos.
El Torito on Mess. Settle down, media. El
Yeah, well,
Muertos.
you know, this is actually Black Taurus. You know, you may
Oh,
have heard
what
of
is it? I thought so, dude.
you may have heard of oh, John even put up the comment, right?
Right, he
Yeah.
did. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure because I'm looking at him and I'm like, I could have sworn that's who it was, but then I thought, nah, it's got to be a ripoff. So what's going on here?
I don't know all the details, but it's like he changed up his mask a little bit. He modified it. He added like ram
It
horns
looks
or
bad,
whatever.
dude. It looks
And
worse.
and yeah, but other than that, kind of basically the same. Um and
See,
so yeah,
I wasn't the
but
only one.
I don't
Right, it was.
actually agree with you, Jimmy. I thought this match was good,
It
and
was
I thought
good.
he was good in it. And I, you know, whatever you could say about his mask, what you think of it, but you can also imagine somebody that might stop and look at this if they were like passing by, like, wait a minute, you know. And then if they did, they'd be like, oh, okay, these guys
Is
are
that
doing interesting
Mortos?
stuff. Mortal. Yeah, again, I don't know about the gimmick. I don't know about that, but he actually in this match for whatever reason, he busted out like an arsenal of which I've never seen. Look, I've seen Black Taurus many times,
Me
and he
too.
mostly is content to just stand there and let other guys do stuff to him. But this time he was doing stuff, and you know, like I was like, oh, cool. So he can really do some things if he wants to. And Ray Phoenix is the first time I've ever seen him just sell something for a while. Like he's always just ignoring people's offense and just doing his next flip. But in this one, it was like he was really trying to put over Mortos and like, because this is his, you know, it's basically his debut, like really, right? So
Yeah. He hasn't been in AEW before
right,
this,
he
right?
did show up on Ring of Honor recently,
Oh.
but that doesn't count. So like this kind of like a major debut for him. This definitely the most eyes probably ever watching him, and
I
he got
remember
to
him
do
in
a lot of cool
Impact.
stuff. One of the things I really liked was that he did that leg grapevine thing, and then did like a spinning. He spun down to the mat and looked like it was really fucked his leg up. Now, granted, later on Ray Phoenix did a bunch of stuff with his leg, but I mean, still like it looked cool at the time. So
That's standard, dude. He does this all the time in his matches.
yeah, but I never seen that cool leg twist thing. So like, okay, now you got that. They should save that for an angle where you're breaking somebody's leg and they have to go away for a while. You just try that on Dante Martin. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
100.
but
He'll
so yeah,
bust
so
in
they
a
did
heartbeat.
that. Yeah, and the match was really good. The only problem is, I would have rather. Now, tell me what you think about this, Jimmy. Like, okay, just take your mask racism aside. You're racist against the mask,
Come
right?
on.
So
It's more.
you don't like you don't like rams or bulls or whatever it is, right?
Or Cyclopses,
Yeah, any of that stuff.
Cyclopes for the
Yeah, you're
Spanish
not a
speakers out
fan of
there.
your Greek heritage. You hate yourself and everything that of your legends, right? No, but okay, so just set the gimmick aside and take the story of like, okay, Ray Phoenix is coming back from an injury and he's against this guy that looks pretty tough and you never seen him before. Now,
Right.
I would say, could you not, without hurting Ray Phoenix, could you not have put Mortos over in this? And then it's like, oh shit, we all expected Ray Phoenix to just win his comeback match, but now he just gets smashed and then he's like left laying there. And now it's like, oh, now what's Ray Phoenix going to do? And look at this guy. He must be tough. He beat Ray Phoenix. So, you know, it's like, I think that would have done more future business than to just have Ray Phoenix predictably win, right? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, AEW don't do fucking unpredictable. Let's be honest. Second of all, it depends
No,
on his
no.
status. Is he signed with AEW? Is he just a part timer? Does he come from CMLL? I remember him as Taurus, however they said in Spanish.
Triple A mostly.
Triple A mostly. Okay, well, I need to know his status. If he's like here for the long haul, then sure, yeah, why not, right? But honestly, the mask, man, I can't take it. How are you supposed to take a guy that wears that on his head serious though, man?
Well, if he comes in and kicks the shit out of Ray Phoenix, you could take him a little more seriously.
Does he go further and start biting people and pretend there's blood everywhere. And he's like,
Maybe, but you don't have to.
look, man. All right, look. The mask aside, sure, I will agree with you. Absolutely, right. But again, it all depends on his status, though. If he's there for the long haul, absolutely. If he's not, you got to put Phoenix over, man. Otherwise, where are we going? Like, what's the point, right?
Well, where you go is it's like now Phoenix is like, I may not have been ready to come back yet. And then you could tell a story that way. You actually have something to do rather than just throw Phoenix out there in cold matches. Now, when you have backstage interviews or people asking him questions or whatever, it's like Ray, are you all right? Like, you didn't look like yourself out there. You instead of no-selling everything and just doing flips, you sold on the mat. Like, what are you doing? Are you okay?
You're right. Don't worry about your injury. No, yeah. Really, are you?
Obviously,
right?
you don't. Obviously, you don't say it like that. I'm making a joke, but like, still,
know, right?
That's your story. Your story is, Ray, you ready to come back? And then he's like, I'm fine. If it wasn't, Abrahantes was out there with him, wasn't he?
Oh my God, Abrahantes done my head in this match because when they were walking out, I don't know if you caught this, you probably didn't, but see, to me, he stood out. First of all, when he's doing all that, yeah, Ray Phoenix, zero miedo, and all that bullshit. First of all, it's cringe. You're not cool doing that. Just stop it. It's ridiculous, right? It just is. But he's bumping into Ray all the time, yeah? So he starts sort of bumping into him, like from behind, like oof, like full nudging him. And I'm thinking, man, if I was Ray, I'd turn around and say, hey, no touch me. You know what I mean? Like, stop touching me. Stop screaming in my ear. Stop with your bullshit, man. This guy doesn't even need to be part of the company. He's useless.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, he was out there, right? So if you
he was very much out there.
Now you can be like, he can be the one asking the questions, like, are you all right? I don't know. Look, whatever. Who cares about my booking? Enough free booking ideas. It's too late. You fucked it up. You had Ray Phoenix come back and beat the guy on his debut. Great.
Mortos.
So I'm more interested in the chat, you guys on YouTube and even on Twitch, whatever. Go ahead and either vote thumbs up, put a thumbs up emoji or a thumbs down emoji for the Mortos mask. Okay, we want to see if Jimmy
actually,
if people are on Jimmy's side or if the mask is cool. So
and
you
be
guys vote.
serious too.
Yeah, I want to see
Don't
the
fuck
real
around.
answers.
Right, real answers.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up for Mortos. Thumbs down for Taurus. Whatever the fuck.
Well, the Taurus mask was even shittier looking, if you remember. So
you think so? I think it was actually a little better, but I knew, like, I was thinking that was him. I really was, man. I'm like, there's something off that's not him, though. And then when you said that it was, I'm like, oh my God, it was really? No shit. Well, John thinks it's cool. Jimmy's, get out.
Yeah.
I'm Muska racist, all right? My mask.
anybody's, as long as he's not Indian, right?
Oh, look, facts are facts. As long as he's not Indian, that's straight up. But Cold Blooded puts the thumb down and does the Batista. Thank you, Cold.
Media says I do not know enough of the situation. Just look up Beast Mortos. Look up a fucking image search. Google it. I don't care.
Mortos.
All right. Well, anyway, while you guys are still voting, we get a recap of everything that was going on with the best friends, and then Orange Cassidy's interviewed by some lady. I never seen her before. They said her name. I even rewound it and listened to it multiple times, and I couldn't understand Tony Schiavone's mumbling. So I don't know what her name is. If you want to look that up, Jimmy, and see what her name is or something.
I have
but
no
anyway,
idea.
Statlander comes to get Orange, like, hey, Orange, we got to go. And then they leave. So
he needs us. That's what she said, or some shit like that. He needs us out there. This is silly. I guess it's not bad for the event. The thing, I know I'm not up there yet, but I just want to point out one thing. Wouldn't it make more sense to have Chuck be the heel in all this? Chuck is the natural, look at him. Look at his face. Not really. I know I'm not the best looking bloke myself, but come on. No, yeah,
it doesn't
right.
matter, whichever person. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, that's just me.
I don't think Media M5 understands the assignment. And I only got 2 votes. How many viewers are watching right now?
20 right now.
20 viewers and we got 2 votes. Get with it.
Yeah. Get with it.
Aaron
Well,
Ben
he's
Shlomo sitting here talking about Willow Nightingale. She ain't on the show. Vote thumbs up or down.
Yeah, but
He must be behind.
thumbs up, thumbs down. Simple. Labrat, thumbs up.
Yeah. Think I'm kidding?
He's being biased. He's being biased. He's not kidding. 18 bots. Get out of here.
All right.
Anyway.
Liz just got here. I said Jimmy doesn't like the Beast Mortos mask. He says he can't take it seriously. So I say thumbs up if the mask is cool and thumbs down if the mask is uncool. And then that's your guys' vote. We want to see who's right.
You know
thumbs
what?
Up
and
for mask. So media votes up for the mask itself, but he doesn't
down.
like Taurus. Yeah. All right.
Well, you like
guess what?
Mortos.
That's not the only bull we got in the house because Roosh is back.
The white bull.
The white El Toro Blanco.
El Toro Blanco. The Roosh.
Yeah, the Roosh. Which means rush. So
yes.
he's taking on some guy named Martin Stone. I was like, who is this guy? Is this Danny Burch? No, he would just be named Danny Burch if that was Danny Burch.
You know what? McGuinness thought exactly what I was thinking. Guy Ritchie. I swear. First thing that went into my Guy Ritchie, and he said Guy Ritchie, and I'm like,
Vinnie Jones,
bang.
Actually.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I thought of when I saw this is like, could we maybe kind of spread apart the luchadors matches on the show? Or if you're not going to do that, could you at least spread apart the guys that are coming back from an injury? Like have those a different, like, do we have to have the injury returns back to back too? So
yeah, weird booking again. Collision is a show without any soul, bro. Right now, like legitly, it's just I can't put my finger on it, man. It's good on paper, like with who's there. It just I don't know. It just doesn't have this energy about it, man.
And yet
anymore.
And yet, Collision is addressing the issue because they're always like keeping the chat, or not the chat, keeping the audience caught up with the storylines and stuff. They keep putting little packages, little recaps, little quick things to be like, hey, just in case you missed Dynamite, here's this. Hey, just in case you missed Dynasty, here's this. Hey, just in case you missed Rampage last week, here's this. Like, so they're catching you up, but now you're saying they have no soul. So it's like they can't get everything cooking at the same time, I guess.
Well, first of all, maybe they've got one too many shows. That's one thing. Two, how good was Collision when it initially first started, when Punk was supposedly controlling things? It was it was night and day, dude. It was exciting. It was must watch. And it's faded after 4 weeks, really. Well, actually, I'll say it was a slow decline within 4 months. A steady decline, actually, not slow.
Well, anyway, Roosh kicks the shit out of this guy and hits him with you mess with the bull, you get the horns. I believe that's his finisher's official name. And then after the match is over, he hits him again. Post-match horns.
But you know what, Vet? What are his horns?
His feet?
Which feet are you talking about there? Why is he always rushing? He needs to settle down. He needs to relax. Tranquilo, Rush.
Don't settle down. You can tranquilo when he's dead. Kill him first. And yeah.
That's fair call. Fair call.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah. Let's see. Then we get an interview with Serena Deeb. She says it's now or never. Everybody's telling her she's the best, so she needs to prove it. And Tony Storm, I'm coming for you, brother. And this isn't a movie, this is real life, is what she says. So
you know what? It was short and sweet, but she actually, I liked her promo, and I'm not saying this out of bias because you're close with her and because it's nothing to do with that. I actually liked her promo because she was actually telling truth. You know, people would always tell her how she's better than everybody. Isn't that the truth? I mean, think about it. I'm sure that's what she was hearing all the fucking time, and it probably would get to her, you know, in a sense, because it's hard to live up to people's expectations all the time. But man, she looks like $1 million too, bro. Really, she looks like a star. She comes across as a star, man. Like, really, she really does.
Yeah, and well, the last two outings she's had in the ring, though, she's not up to her level of ability. So
That's
she
true
probably is
also.
feeling like a need for redemption.
Take
But
it slow
anyway,
with her,
the
man. I
subject,
feel. For her, I think
this
it's all right to be slow. Sorry.
okay. So the subject of her focus is Tony Storm, who's up next versus Anna Jay.
Dude,
Well, I think we
is
all
it
know the reason to watch this match, right?
well, not only is Anna Jay, especially, and Tony both hot. I want to say this though. Kudos to Anna Jay. She's improved so much in the last, say,
That's right.
2 months, 3 months. Honestly, dude, she's a different like performer now in the ring. She's not there yet, but man, she's gotten so much better than she was. No shit, 6 months ago, bro.
Right. Well, she's
For real,
graduated from being rotten to being the shits.
Like I said, she's not there yet. But her match on Dynamite was a lot better than you think. I don't know if you watched it, but I was kind of
Oh, I
surprised.
did.
Right, I was surprised by how decent she was, like compared to every other time I've watched her in the ring. She wasn't just eye candy in that match. But anyway, that's just me. Kudos to her to actually improving slightly. Still, it's an improvement though, Vet.
Like I said,
Hey.
there's an order. But she's gonna get pile driven. So nice try, kid. You ain't no Tony Storm.
Definitely not.
All
Oh,
right, and
dude.
then
Can I call out one more thing? Did you catch
Sure.
what Nigel said about Tony Storm?
maybe
How she apparently likes getting choked in the bedroom. But he said, oh, not during hours. I mean, after hours. And Tony Schiavone's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, why are you saying this? He's like, don't you worry, Tony. I know everything. I'm thinking, what the fuck did he just, why would he say that, man? Like, and she's got like the fetish to get choked. Like, you know what I mean? In bed and shit. I don't know, man. He was real weird with some of the comments tonight. Sometimes they're funny, but sometimes you just sit back and think, okay. Yeah, obviously you didn't
CTE,
catch that. Maybe.
CTE.
He does suffer from CTE. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, I had to point that out, Vet.
Okay, no problem. No, I'm good. I didn't catch it. But guess what? Speaking of CTE, that's a great transition because in the parking lot, Chuck Taylor
Oh,
putting his
God.
putting his gear on, and he tells Orange that he has to do this on his own.
Why the
If
fuck
I
was
hear
the
one
dog
more
there?
wrestler tell their friend I need to do this on my own, I might just quit. I might just quit. I'm getting really tired of hearing this phrase in every single wrestling company. Just to explain why your babyface friends don't come out and just beat the shit out of the heels all the time. It's because you got to do this on your own. You know, we had a whole angle with Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes where they kept telling each other they got to do it on their own. They've had all this shit. They just keep saying, I got to do this on my own. Like, you really don't. And nobody would say that. But besides all that, you must not watch any other wrestling because clearly you don't see that everybody in the wrestling business is using this fucking line.
That and new
It's
era,
shitty.
Vet. That's what's in right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude.
All right. Well, here's Grizzly Young Veterans versus the Acclaim.
Ugh.
Whoa, you had a reaction to that right away. Why don't you go first?
Well, I saw, that I don't know if have they signed, are they official? I saw like some shit about them saying they're going to be wrestling in AEW. I don't know if they've signed or not. So already alarm bells are going off in my head like, no, please. I don't need to see the grizzled young veterans in AEW. I couldn't stand them in NXT, WWE UK. I just couldn't stand these guys, man. They're a bunch of dopey scousers, if anyone knows what I mean. It's where they're from anyway, in Liverpool, in England. And I just don't like them. I didn't like them when they were, what were they called again? When they were like under Gacy. What was the crew called?
Um, the guys schism.
The Schism, that's it. Even as the Schism, they were the drizzling shit, in my opinion. All right, I just don't like these guys, man. I don't know. Just can't stand them. Convince me. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I can't. I'm actually very high on Zach Gibson, and I feel that James Drake is an albatross around his neck that's just dragging him down. Like there's nowhere for him to go as long as he's got this, looks like if Tom Petty had a brother.
He looks like a weirdo, dude. Seriously.
But but Zach Gibson, I can see Zach Gibson being like a main event level heel.
Wow.
I always did. Yeah. I could see it.
Interesting. Why? Because he looks different?
Yeah, he just has, dude, people just love to hate this guy in the best wrestling.
Just look at him. You just look at him and you just don't like him. You know what I mean? He's got
and then he starts talking. He's got that Liverpool accent.
Right, the Scouser accent.
He makes people hate him. Matter of fact, it's just like they just show up here in Daly's place and he gets a Gibson sucks chant. Not GYV sucks, not James Drake sucks, Gibson sucks. Like they fucking hate him. And in NXT UK, the fans used to say, if you hate Gibson, shoes off. And then everybody would like hold one shoe up in the air. Like this guy gets so much heat, but I just think he could be a single. I don't, the tag team doesn't work for me, brother. I'm sorry.
He seems loyal though to his partner, bro. Like he really does. I mean, they both were the ones that asked for their release in WWE. They seem very loyal to each other. So maybe someone needs to, pull him aside and just say, hey, we see something in you.
If that's what he wants to do, then let him do it. But they'll never get anywhere the way they are. There's no guarantee. See, the thing about the wrestling business is there's no guarantee that even if you have all the tools, there's no guarantee that somebody else will. Yeah, that was what they were called as a tag team within the Schism.
The dyad, right.
Yeah. But there's no guarantee that someone will recognize your ability, your hard work, or whatever. It's all up to favoritism and, this other stuff. So even if he was the singles, there's no guarantee he could reach the heights. But certainly as a tag team, there's just no hope. So too bad. And guess what? Mic drop. And it's over. Acclaimed wins.
You know what? It was, for a minute, I mean, I was expecting the Acclaim to win. But for a second, they had me fooled. I felt like the match could have ended a bit earlier. But then there was a couple of, near falls, thanks to the grizzled young vets. They're kicking out of a lot of shit. So I'm going to take it like they're maybe, signed with AEW. I haven't seen the All Elite, graphics yet, but something seems to be brewing. And TK seems to like him. But you know what? The fact that you see Gibson as a bigger star than, what I do. But look, he's doing his job, right? I hate him already. It's just his look. And his accent, too. It's pretty bad. Both of theirs. But, yeah, look, I didn't like him, though, in the Schism. I'm not going to lie. He looked like a freak, bro.
He does. Like, that. He needs that beard.
You'd be
but other than that, yeah. He's got the height. He's got the, he's in shape. He can work. He can talk. He could do pretty much anything you want. But just him in a tag team is a waste. But that's fine. That's what he wants. Let's just ride that out, see how it goes. Next is a Shibata interview. And he's supposed to face off against Shane Taylor Promotions later on Rampage. And Daniel Garcia comes in and offers his assistance. And that is basically, by Daniel Garcia doing that, that basically signals the end of the show for me at exactly a certain point in time. So more on that later. The main event of this show is Claudio and Swerve after the open challenge. So there you go.
Whose house?
Claudio's house? No.
Is it Tony's house? I mean, I have no idea whose house it was, but this match again. Are we talking main event now? Is that where we're at?
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Look, man. Is it just me? Look, the match was fine. Don't get me wrong. Except there was a few spots that I didn't like. For example, did you see that Hurricane Rana on the outside from Swerve onto Costagnoli? Okay, you didn't.
No, I did.
Good. It was the worst Hurricane Rana I've seen in my life, dude. It was so
full
fake.
Full disclosure, I did not watch this match. I dragged the progress bar to the finish for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
Number one, I was out of time. So if I was
What do
going
you
to
mean?
get everything in order to do this show,
Oh,
I had
okay,
to
yeah.
chunk 20 minutes out of it to finish it. And number two, the reason I didn't just force it anyway,
Because it was obvious.
because I actually don't like either of these guys' matches. Like, I'm cool with everything about Swerve except watching his matches. I just want to know the result. I'll watch the promo. I'll watch the entrance with the music and the dance and all that stuff, and then I'll
Yeah.
watch the finish. And the rest of it, I've seen enough. I've been watching this guy since Lucha Underground. I know what he does. I don't enjoy it. It never is good to me. He's a good athlete and he's good at doing moves sometimes, but his matches never have. I just never have. And Claudio's a joke to me. Again, for the 100th time, after he knocked out his own teeth on a slingshot to the post, I've never took him seriously after that.
Oh no, man! And like
He
Zane
lost
said,
his front teeth in the fakest move in wrestling, and I just can't take him seriously after that. If only.
well, that's if only he did. Well, first of all, for me,
every time I see Claudio Castagnoli on my screen, I just want to.
I'm with you, dude. When it comes to Costagnoli, I'm with Vince McMahon. Even when it comes to Costagnoli, there's something missing from him. Sure, tough guy. His moves don't even really impress me. Not even the giant swing. Shit, man. A few wrestlers back in the day used to do that shit. Is it supposed to impress me now? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't like him, dude. And you know what? He's very lazy sometimes in the ring, I feel. As dumb as that sounds. Like I said, that Hurricane Runner with Swerve, when he did it to Costagnoli, I don't know if it's the camera work and the production, the way they're shooting shit. But I just medium 5 constant ravioli. Yeah. It was so slowly done. It was so fake. Like even a casual fan could see, like, what's that bullshit? Like the way it was done, you could see the roll. Like, when they flip over, it was that slow and just that fake, and you just see Costagnoli just do a roll, and it was just like, that's it. I'm done. This match has just lost me. I can't see that shit, even though I know how it works and all that. Just when I see it that obvious, though, it bothers me, dude. And it took me out of the match. And you're right. Costagnoli just is boring to me. Swerve, I'm a big fan of his. I totally get where you're coming from, though, when it comes to his matches. Because let's be honest. Name me a match that was compelling with Swerve, other than maybe, and I'm using this term lightly because I wasn't even the biggest fan of this match, against Hangman Adam Page. That's the only, most compelling I've seen him in a match. You know what I mean?
He's a move doer.
Oh,
sure.
Absolutely. Very much.
Both these guys are.
Doer.
It's like
Both of
one
them,
guy
they've got
wants
the same
to
shtick.
uppercut you
Right.
all day.
Yeah.
The other guy has a few moves he did. Dude, well, I'll tell you this much. Because I did see the finish. It's like he beat Claudio with the house call. He doesn't beat anybody with the house call. Is that like some sort of sign of disrespect? Like, I'm not even going to hit you with my finish and I'll pin you? I don't know. Weird.
I have no idea, bro. It was weird. Again, this is still not how you book your AEW World Champion. And I just want to say, I know it's only been a week, but still, it's just already alarm bells are ringing, though.
Worst reign ever. Typical AEW fan.
I'm not going to say it.
This is the worst reign of all time.
But what I do want to ask, is he a holder for Ospreay to get that championship off of him come, all in? That's the thing.
I don't know why everybody feels like it's it's like their God-given right to win a belt in their hometown. Like,
true, but this is AEW. Keep that in mind.
yeah. So
They love playing onto that shit. You know what I mean? That if it was WWE, that's a different story. But AEW, Tony Khan's too nice, bro. Come on, really, he truly is. He's too nice to go, opposite. That's why I'm hoping he goes heel. And Josh, to answer your question, I did answer your question earlier. And yes, I do think he's going to do the Bischoff route and actually join the Elite. That's just me. But yeah, if he does do that, though, he has to be full-blown heel and a prick. I don't know if he's got it in him. It'd be funny to see, though. I won't lie.
No, he doesn't have anything in him. He can't do anything right. He couldn't take the right bump. He couldn't do anything. You know what? Never mind. Let's just say it would be pretty lame if he just goes back and forth with Eric Bischoff and then just does everything Eric Bischoff does.
Oh, my God. Even to the point where he's pointing to the crowd, like, he's pointing to his chest and then pointing to the crowd.
Yeah, if he's trying to rib Bischoff, or if it's the Young Bucks trying to rib him, then it's not worth it, guys. But anyway, that was Collision. So
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna give it a D+ straight up right now.
D.
Yeah,
it's that's a good grade. I'd say it's a I'll give him a C, because even if I didn't care, look, my menu was light, right? Like,
very light. Your menu was
issue.
Extremely light, right?
Matter of fact, yeah, it was one Jay White, but it was a 6-man tag, and then the bonus, the like the chef surprise or whatever, like the chef special, the soup of the day, if you will, was the Beast Muertos, and I knew you were going to say that. Oh, good, yeah. Tasty.
Tasty, I like it.
Yeah, I didn't want it, but I was happy to get it. But yeah, everything else pretty much blue. Like, I could see people being excited for Claudio and Swerve if they watched it. Maybe if I actually watched it, I'd have a different opinion, but
no, you wouldn't.
I'll just say, even if it wasn't for me, maybe that made somebody else happy. So it was a good match to deliver, like if you're, like you say, on paper, right? Like, so, but I don't care. And that's pretty much it. Everything else kind of sucked. Let me run it back, make sure. I like Zach Gibson, but I don't care. Tony versus Anna Jay was nice to look at. Serena had an interview. Roosh was back. Yeah, so that's enough to get a C. A C is better than it's an average grade.
Can I give M for Mortos?
Mortos, the beast. Mortos.
Yeah. I love it. I still can't believe that's Dark Mortos.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be able to do the voice or anything. Like, there was no Julia Hart wasn't in the House of Black promo. Dark Sky was nowhere to be seen. If I don't get to do the voice, I'm not as happy.
I know. So now, from now on, moving forward, if we don't see Dark Sky, we see Mortos. I feel like a creep saying that.
I want to see the Beast Mortos is all elite.
But like, just from his head down, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sorry, just from his head up. Like,
yeah,
from
don't
neck
show
up.
Don't show the physique. Just
Mortos.
Yeah. All kidding aside, I have liked Black Taurus. I mean, they just jobbed him out in TNA, but I could still see he had like some talent, and they didn't take advantage of it. But he can get a fresh start here, hopefully, and they've already fucked it up by having him lose. But we'll see.
Maybe we should call him Mortadelos, like mortadella.
Yeah.
Mortadelos. I know that was like a wet fart. That was a bad joke. That was pretty bad, actually. Excuse me, don't mind me. That was pretty bad. But yeah, don't laugh at me, D. She's laughing and looking at me like you're a weirdo. Anyway, yeah. So that's a D+ for me. C+ or C-
just
was it?
Flat C.
Flat C. That's just It is what it is. Paper looked good, but we had Cannoli Man, as Aaron says. Well, actually, Costagnoli's Cannoli Man for me right now, but anyway, I beg to differ. I guess that's a wrap then, Vet, and we do move on to Uncaged, actually, which, you know what, dude, I'm not going to lie, just as a little preview, I think Rampage was better, dude.
Okay.
Just the overall flow, but anyway, we'll get to that.
The show being shorter, yeah.
It's probably that.
Don't touch that dial. Stay right here. And
right here on Hamin Media Group. Do we give our socials or do we just wait till the next show?
I mean, we can do the socials, add Opinion Haver, you know, like just, we'll be right back, but, you know, maybe somebody's listening to this after the fact and they're not going to listen to Uncaged. So just in case, you know, add Opinion Haver for me and all my stuff. You know about channelattitude.com, which is where you could find all the shows I'm on. So that should be good enough.
Perfect. I love how you got everything Opinion Haver, Vet. You're the smart one out of all. Right. You're the smart one. Absolutely. Well, for me, if you want to follow me on the X, you can at DJ Mass Effects. Also, like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com, where for $5, not only do you get the realest talking pro wrestling, but also the best. Also, HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows, and the PWCNetwork.podbean.com for all of my other shows. And look at that, it always happens right at the end. What do you know? So I'm going to switch cameras for Uncaged. Anyway, in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the Vet Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the Saturday Night Wreckage. Right here. The Wreckage. Right here on channelattitude.com via Hamin Media Group. And we're out just for now. We'll be back literally in a minute.
Stay tuned.
Peace. Absolutely stay tuned. We'll see you shortly. So stay right here in the group. We'll see you literally shortly. Bye.